Hi MGD. Thanks so much for all your hand-holding and support through those years, all our years at NID, for your courage and compassion, especially now. Thank you for just being you and always doing the right thing.
Hi MGD. Welcome to MGD Darbar. You were the best administrator a creative environment like NID could have. You asked us to follow the rules in the spirit and not by the written word. We were so lucky to have you then, and we are so proud to have you now. Thanks for being there for us. Cheers.
Hi MGD, you will always be someone I associate my time at NID with. I am forever grateful for all that you did, especially when I lost my dad in the first year. And thank you for keeping an extra eye out for me, and thanks for all you did back then. It was always appreciated and it will always be remembered. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Sajid. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I see we have almost 80 participants. MGD, welcome to the show. Like Sajid said, I know everybody wants to talk about the Kosher Controversy and MGD's recent Facebook post and create a sensational show. Unfortunately for all of you, this is not going to be a show about Kosher and his management style of the era during which he was the executive director of NID. It's going to be about the 30 plus years that MGD actually spent at NID. So a little bit controversy about Kosher. So for those of you who have deep, dark, pressing questions, please post your questions on the chat window. Sajid will do a job of curating the best questions. He will remove various obscenities, etc. And then he'll pass on the best questions to me, and I will pose those questions to MGD. MGD, to start with, I'm going to request you to unmute your mic. MGD's got his grandson, who's going to help him with tech support. Just a second, you need to unmute your mic.
While that's happening, I'm just putting one poll in the background just to warm you guys up.
All right. I know the answer, so I won't participate. So what is MGD's full name? Most of us know MGD as MGD, but how many know what MGD stands for? So please choose from the options that you have.
My inside information says it's the last one. No? Nobody's choosing that.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see the result of the poll, Sajid. Everybody finished voting? Right, Manohar and Ganesh and Divakar Nair is 51%. Okay, Sajid, end the mystery. What is the correct answer?
The correct answer is number 3, Mavelil Govindan Divakar Nair. So in your this thing of getting to know MGD, let's start with this. Over to you, Suresh.
Correct. Thanks. So Sajid will be throwing some polls at you during the course of this interview. But let's dive into the interview itself. So many of us, like Sajid said, know MGD as the academic administrator, sort of father figure. For many of us, he was the local guardian. He was also the school principal that you went to when you got trouble, when you were caught drinking, when you were caught in the boys' hostel or girls' hostel. If you had the unfortunate incident of having a letter sent to your parents, that was done by MGD as well. So he was there to celebrate good times, bad times, like I said, father figure, local guardian, and principal. So MGD, we don't know anything about you before NID. So where did you go to school and college, and what did you study?
Okay. One thing, it's good that it's a freewheeling and it's more about me and lesser of what I'm writing as a series in the recent. So it's a very good thing that about me. I come from a middle class family. There are 7 of us, 5 sisters and 2 brothers. I've got a younger brother. He also passed. He passed away. We know 3 of us are around. One of my younger sister is there and one elder sister. My father, my main inspiration all throughout my life is father. Very hardworking, getting up at 4 o'clock and work till 8:30 at night, and then he was a farmer, and he got a small land and then some paddy field. So I vividly remember, we had a pair of bulls also. He used to take them to the field. Sometimes he hire the labor, sometimes he doesn't hire the labor. Once it is early morning, 7:30, I also go to the field with some breakfast for him. So we had, and sometime he also, for a few years, he also had a small provision provision store. At my time, about 30 years of 12, 13, 14, and 15, I also used to help him in the provision store and on holidays and on Saturdays and Sundays. And also. At any given point, also he also had a milking cow. So you can just imagine one person without any labor from outside, managing a lot of farming plus milking cow, provision store, and so on. Maybe he needed to do it. We are seven of us. So that is my primary school was just 500 meters away. So just go, and then I used to go. That is 5 years over there. Then we call middle school, which is 5, 6, and 7. During the primary school, I was like a cat. I was very calm, very disciplined. Because most of the teachers were known. So I had no way to. Into the middle school, I became a little naughty and then a little problematic. Our school used to be just on the riverside. I started playing football also over there. That's how I picked up football from the middle school and also. So in those 3 years I spent over there, at least every 5 to 6 months, my father had to come and see the headmaster and then give some explanation and give some, sorry and this, that, request to take me back or request not to get me out, something or other. The 3 years were a little, very, very bad for my father. Every 6 monthly visit to the school to explain and then bail me out. Then, issuing a certificate at the end of the living certificate, the minimum we expect is there's a column, character and conduct. So minimum is satisfactory or fair. The headmaster was so fed up with me most of the time, so he put not bad. That was a little problem to get into the high school. So the headmaster asked my father, this is what very rarely I see this not bad, either fair or satisfactory, something wrong with your son, what is this? So he's also very honest. So my father explained him, these were the things I experienced over there. He had this problem. So I hope he will discontinue that wrong habits. And in the middle school, when I say problematic, there are mango trees on the stone them, and the stone falls on the tiles of some of the houses. So they chased me. Then one day I was told that I'll be taken to the police station, and our school were just hardly 100, 200 meters away. So I was scared also, but still I continued my own way also. That 3 years, I was absolutely a little problematic for my father. Then into high school, he threatened me saying that I will stop your studies if I have to come, because high school was about 3 kilometers, 3.5 kilometers away. It's on a hill. Walk every day, all the 3.5 kilometers walk back. He said, I can't come every 5 months and 6 months and then to apologize. No. So somehow somehow I think it quietened over a period of time. And then I was a good boy in the high school. I was a good boy in the high school, going in the early morning at 8:30 with my friends. And no chappals. We had, I saw and I used a chappal at the, while I was 16, while I started going to the college. Otherwise, we don't, in the village, in a typical village, we don't have that system of wearing even chappal at that time. Now, wonderful school, hill, and there's a 200 meters away, there's a river, and it's a wonderful place. And also, I think 62, 61, 62, I got out with, I was not very good in studies of them, but definitely above the average. Then I went to a college for, we have that and we have called pre-university. 2 years. 2 years, I just finished in a college in Alway. Then, so my father told me, boss, now another 3 years you have to go. I have no way to do that. Even after 3 years, getting a BA or diploma or whatever it is, getting a job at that time was very difficult. So he said, what is in future for you if you take a BA or diploma? So you better go to a polytechnic, spend 3 years over there. So in my village and then nearby, it was very routine that people generally go to ITI or polytechnic, and so it's to get a faster job. I was absolutely scared of any technical subjects in technology, and I didn't want to go to polytechnic. So I told my father, I can understand you, because he was also hard pressed for resources over a period of time, another 3 more years. And then, So I said, I will permit me to get out of Kerala. I had a cousin who was working in a textile mill in Ahmedabad. So I wrote and asked him that, look, when you come, would you take me? So he said, no problem. Fine. Then ultimately my father was not very comfortable, because 4 sisters, elder to me, I was the one. So somehow he wanted to retain me there so that he also gets into, he gets to get some help and then, some. So I said, either you allow me to go or college or polytechnic out. So he was forced to agree to me, okay, you can go now, that is the only choice. That is how on 26th of January 1965, I arrived in Ahmedabad.
And what college did you study? What course did you do?
Sorry?
What college did you study in and what course did you study in Ahmedabad?
In Kerala, UC College, Alva.
Okay. And what did you study? What subject did you study? For your bachelor's?
There is, I think, all this economics is started there. Into the third year, when we start the graduation, we had to go for specialization. Otherwise, in the university, all those things were, there is first group, which is for science, the second group is BCom, third group is BA. I had opted for BA. That is economics, English, and then language. And also. So there are common subjects. There are 3 groups at that time.
Okay, so then how did you get a job at NID?
Yes, then coming to Ahmedabad, on February 8th, I got a job in Tata Oil Mills as a billing assistant. So I had some contacts over there. So on a salary of 186 rupees, 186. February 8th, I joined I distinctly remember, that was my first job. 186 rupees per month, that is the salary, wonderful. That was a much better salary than, can think of at that time. About 90 to 100 rupees, 5, 6 of us used to stay together in 2 rooms. the rent, the food, and everything was taken care of. Then Tata Oil Mills, I worked there for a year. And then they said, now there is no vacancy over here. The positions are now either in Bombay or in Bangalore. So I didn't want to leave Ahmedabad because I didn't want to go to Bombay also. I didn't want to leave anywhere. So I left Tata's, and then 1 year in between, I also worked in a place called Pure Beverages Limited, the bottling plant of the Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola became a habit for me from there because we get it free. Any number of Coca-Cola you just drink, so it became a habit. Any number of Coca-Cola you can drink, and it became a habit, and then, then I thought I wanted to complete my studies. I picked up a job in a semi-government organization in Ahmedabad. The office time itself was 11 o'clock. So it suited me very well to go to the morning college comfortably, come back by 11:30 in the office. So I studied English literature over there. Finished that 3 years, and then further went through, there is an IM Nanavati College in Lal Darwaja in Ahmedabad. I studied law also there. At that time, for studying law, there are two things. Number one, you study for 2 years, get a degree, LLB, the Khatam. Then if you want to go to practice at the court, you take the 3rd year, which is generally the criminal procedure code and civil procedure code, and also do the court procedures. Then you will get the certificate to practice in the court. I did the degree part. I did the 3rd year also. I did 1 semester exam, but the second one somehow foolishly I didn't go. Ultimately, at that time, my intention was to become an advocate into the court, practice in the court somewhere. So then there was a solicitor near my office. So he said, you are good at analyzing legal terms. And because I worked with him on a part-time for 2-3 hours in the evenings for 6 months. So he said, I will definitely give you a job. But then, you'll have to leave all other job and come, and this is the salary and all. So I was a little hesitant to do that because the other one was a little government job, and this one, uncertainty. You are just coming to apprentice with one, and if it doesn't work, it is gone. Then he can ask me to not to come from tomorrow. That is the end of it. So I didn't have the courage to again go through the last semester of the exam and then take a certificate and then go into the practice. Somehow I didn't have the courage to leave the job. That's a mistake I made at that time for not becoming an advocate. So that was the law studies ended there. I didn't pursue it further. Then I thought, now this is the stagnant, that organization was not that, there was no positions of stagnant. So I decided to leave. Just 6 months I worked in advertising. That was Shilpi Advertising, Sarabais. I thought I will fit into that. According to them, the manager and all of this, I fitted in very well. I got a lot of responsibilities. I was executive assistant and doing so many things. But I was not comfortable. I was a little unsettled with the kind of responsibilities that was dumped onto me, that release of advertisement, sign it, take the responsibility. If something goes wrong, take all those things. It was a little too much for me to that. So at that time, I looked for another job at someone. I called one Mr. Prem Bhalla, who was the librarian at NID, saying that, look, Prem, I'm looking for a job in case. So he said, why don't you come? We are looking for people. So I went and joined NID. So I landed up at NID on 25th of July 1975, just 15 days after Ashok Chatterjee joined NID. So that is how I came to NID. When I came to NID,
MGD, you carry on speaking. This is happening parallelly.
That's not, the poll is not for you, MGD. You can continue.
Came to NID, I started in the administration. The secretary was there. His name is Mr. Narasimhan. See, there are, the way NID is unique. There are many individuals also who were working there. Many of them were unique in, some of them are unsung heroes. I don't think that many will tell you, you may not come to know. Narasimhan was one of the unsung heroes of NID. Because in the initial stages, 61 and 62, while started, and then NID started acquiring machinery and then equipment, government grants were coming, and then so Sarabhais were looking for a proper and honest administrator to go through the process of procuring and many other administrative work. So that because anyone who comes to that place, lakhs of rupees worth equipment, construction is going on, one can definitely make some money out. So that was the kind of job over there. So they were looking for some honest people. They picked up Narasimhan from the ministry. He was in the industry ministry at that time, working as a section officer, and then picked up Narasimhan from the ministry and brought him over there. With impeccable integrity, honesty, and very efficient. So Sarabhais definitely liked him, and he worked there for about 18 years, 19 years before retiring or something like that. But for his integrity, the NID still would have been something different even at that time. There would have been corrupt and all sorts of things. Nothing happened. There is one incident, that was one of the time I had not just joined just a few, 2 years ago from the NID. They purchased I think the phone projector, I think photo phone, is it photo phone? Projector? So projector. So the sales manager came from Bombay. Deal was finalized. Yeah, I think photo phone. That was the first time they bought a projector for an idea. And I'm talking about 60s and then, photo phone. So there were two people, and then sales manager told the other fellow, would you just sit outside? And he went out. So the sales manager asked Narasimhan, on all this kind of deals, we give some incentive to the person who finalized this deal. So it should not be taken as a bad bribe or something like that. We wanted to give you a present, a small present. Then he picked out the check and I said, please tell me whose name this should be written. So Narasimhan said, please write National Institute of Design. I cannot forget that. It's a history over that. I don't know how much Narasimhan has been given that space in the 50 years document. I don't know. NID has not been very charitable to people all time. Then integrity and all this doesn't really matter at that time. So I don't know. I just wanted to tell how he was also one of the really unsung heroes of NID, Secretary of Police.
MGD, what did your parents think when you joined NID? Because NID was seen as quite a liberal, hippie campus,
Yeah.
studying design and art and being bohemian. What did your parents think of you joining?
Suresh, they didn't even know I joined X and Y. After I just wrote, they didn't react to, or they were not even aware of NID. And I'm not telling in a negative this thing at all.
Yeah, understood.
So after some time, I joined a new place called National Institute of Design, and that was the end of it. And they will not. There was no reaction actually.
Did you experience any culture shock when you came onto the campus and seeing all these 70 students and all that?
No, not myself. I was prepared for it because Prabhala told me that it's fine. I thought it's fine. But the people outside, when you see a person with a little long beard, people used to get into the bus from there, even an NID student, then they go to university and there was a route number 46, it was a circular route. So there NID students were frequenting. So the moment you see someone beard, long beard, they will definitely say, yes, I thought NID ka student. The same way, a little not combed hair, they'll still do the same thing. Some torn pant on the knee or something, they'll still say, oh yeah, NID ka hoga. That was something on. Then I didn't get a culture shock, but I found the informal way of living a little bit more on the NID campus compared to the outside campus. That's fine. I didn't have it actually.
Basically, all of them look like Alan Shaw. Long hair, uncombed, long beard, uncombed hair, torn jeans. Imagine a campus full of Alan Shaws, girls and guys. MGD, you've seen, you worked under 4 different executive directors, Ashok Chatterjee, Vinay Jha, Vikas Sathalekar, and Darli Koshi. Could you describe each of their styles? How were each of them different from the other? How was AC different from Vinay Jha, different from Vikas, from Darli?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'll go by you, not my freewheeling. Okay. You wanted to say, make a comparison of?
You worked under 4 different directors, Ashok Chatterjee, Vinay Jha, Vikas, and Darli. What were the different styles of the different directors over the years? Do each of them have a distinct style?
Yeah. Ashok Chatterjee was very, he's the one who delegated the financial powers to the faculty for the first time. He believed that responsibility should go with authority. So all these coordinators and chairmen who got financial powers, otherwise even to buy something for 2,000 rupees, they had to run to the secretary who had only secretary, or to the director beyond 5,000, that kind of. So he's the one who gave, delegated the powers to a set of 10 to 15 people. So he wanted to decentralize things, financial things, that is very important. But, of course, the controller is definitely, there's a financial controller, there's a procedure that has been set to be done. And he never interfered in the academics at all. He never asked questions on why lesser number of students are taken, why not more. On the contrary, he joined them and he never forced his decisions on any of the academic areas at all. And then he is the one who really gave the shape to NID in the sense that internationalized it, to internationalize it, and member of its SID, making a member of its SID, and also he had a vision about, he was an vision for NID, definitely. So, for me, I was in his office for when just passing the reference, I was in his office for just 2 years, little around 1.5, 2 years or something like that. I will not forget one thing because we formed an association even at my time. They found me as the president. You can just imagine the time factor. I was the president of the association, and I was working in Ashok Chatterjee's office. So after all this formation, there was a B.G. Varghese, who was a noted journalist, was the chairman at that time. He asked me and some else to make a presentation on why we need an association, which we made. So he was very impressed with me and said that, look, we have no problem with your, so association, forming an association in itself is not a wrong thing at all. I wanted to tell this to the faculty and the idea at all later part, but they didn't really go by my advice at all. Then I went and told Ashok Chatterjee, look, you might know that they have elected me as the president of the association. Now, in your dealings and with me, don't confide in me confidential things and all the things, because I am a member of the association. Also, I might not be. Look at the man. He looked at my face and said, there are occasions when we will have split responsibilities and split loyalties. I know you will definitely figure out which is precedent. I have no problem with it. Go. That is the end of it. Look at the man. He knew my integrity is something, and I can never be doubted. He knew that this man will not cheat. That's something very, it is stunning for me. The director says, you just go. I know you will figure it out. And it didn't, of course, what happened was, there were a lot of outside people who got into the association for leadership. I had my own ethics and principles. I told them, this is no way. We have to manage our own affairs. We will do it with it. I don't want outsiders. But it didn't happen. So I quit the association. So I just wanted to have a mention of AC Ashok Chatterjee's, Then he asked me to go to academic administration. I was hesitant. Well, I think I'll deal with your this thing first, and then
Yeah, next was Vinay Jha. Yeah, your experience with Vinay Jha, Vikas, and Darby. Different directors and different styles.
Yeah, so Ashok Chatterjee was very, very respectful to the faculty, academic, no interference, nothing. A lot of freedom for them to function. High-handedness. I think all of those directors had to some level a little bit of here and there, without which you will not be able to function. Whether it is Chatterjee, whether it is nature, whether it is Vikas, a little bit of it, without which you just can't function it. Otherwise, to that extent, it's a very possible. Vinay Jha knew that he was going to be there 4 or 5 years. He's from the administrative service. At least this man came to from the normal work of the civil service servants. He came to just explore something interesting or challenging, maybe that came. Maybe in the first 1 or 2 years, perhaps he might have also decided there will be a stagnating thing for him after 2-3 years. Maybe that's it. So he didn't pretend to pick up a kind of attachment to the institute or something like that, and he didn't claim it to be that. But wonderful, a very quick decision, nothing pending. Go to Vinay Jha, things will get done. Finance, you just tell him what you want. What are the projects you want to do, and then do it? What are the programs you want to do? He will get finance, he will help, he will do everything. And he never interfered in the academic at all. And he was, I think, a faculty a little bit failed in taking his abilities and capabilities and exploiting and getting things done. So during his time, or even the next 15, another 10, it's Vikas' time also, I don't think that there was a certain amount of development which people were looking for. Because I think faculty failed in exploiting his capabilities, and then had a very high influence in the bureaucracy also in Delhi. I think faculty didn't. There is this faculty's problem, and that not finished. At the end of 5 years, he left. Later on, he left from He resigned from the service also, and he was a consultant or something like that. One very important thing is that with the faculty, and it's with the faculty, in 1986, the salary scales of the central government and also raised. When Jha was on deputation, so as soon as that was implemented, orders came to NID because NID is supposed to pay the revised pay scales and arrears to him. When Jha did not accept the salary scales and the arrears from the government, from NID, till he said, I will accept it when the salary scales of NID faculty are also raised. It's very important. That is solidarity. So I think it took 1.5, 2 years for NID faculty's salaries went up according to the pay commission. Then only he accepted his salaries, and that's very. So he wanted to be solidly behind. I'm talking about solidarity, which very few people will do that kind of thing. So that is the strategy. Sorry, that is. Then Vikas was from internal. So he didn't need organization. Very well combined his director's role and teaching very well. But I am sure he was little uncomfortable dealing with the bureaucracy and their way of working, and then though things smoothly went on, finance and all those things was a little bit of problems. Flow of funds were not easy. So that was basically because any director has to be good at good at dealing with bureaucracy, and that was one of the advantages of Kosher. Kosher was good at it. Vikas was not, certainly not. So during Vinay Jha's and Vikas' time, that 15 years, for different reasons, there was no much of development within the institute. But none of them, neither Vinay Jha, of course Vinay Jha never asked. Vinay Jha was the right person to ask NID to take more students, optimum utilization. He didn't do any of those things. He left all those things to the faculty, all full freedom and no force, no. Manager, finally, then I just get me some water.
No, take your time. Take your time. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that brings us to the last director you worked under, which is Kosher.
Kosher came with clear ideas and what to do. He didn't have to. Surprisingly, many things I've already written. Surprisingly, he did not even have a special meeting or something with faculty even to find out what is their requirement, what they need. Nothing of that. I suggested to him at one point, would you like to meet the student activity council just to have a courtesy? He said no. So he didn't want any meetings, any consultation. He exactly knew what to do, and there was nothing, very aggressively. He said, no, I don't want to meet anyone. That's the end of it. So if you look at it, he had preconceived ideas about what is NID, what is the thing, what exactly to do, and not non-negotiable. And then, so this is how the 4 directives. I mean, I don't want to go into details of it.
Yeah, that's fine.
If you look at
we'll come back to the We'll come back to the directors in just a question in a moment. I want to talk about the students. So ragging is nowadays. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you look at it in mythological, Hindu mythological way, I will put Sarabhai and Kosher Controversy as the Brahma who created NID, and Vinay Jha and Vikas as the Vishnu, the protectors, and the rest I don't want to tell you that. So the Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. Then so the Brahma and Vishnu I told you, and then till 2000, and then so that is how.
And we have a new director now, a very young, energetic new director. Do you have any advice for the new director, Praveen? Do you have any advice for the current director of NID MGD, Praveen Nahar? Young guy, he didn't study at NID. He's just taken over as director. Any advice for the current director?
Yeah, could you tell me once again?
Do you have any advice for the current director of NID, the new director, Praveen Nahar? Any advice for him?
Certainly. Because for all along, NID has been a kind of arrogant, not coordinating and then networking with other institutions that is to be taken care of, other institutions. Then there's a lot of NID graduates above 50 in Ahmedabad and nearby, involve them in a much higher, larger scale will be a real asset, which you may not, maybe you're so many young faculty members coming, but they may not come as full-time employees, but will definitely come. Many of them are there. I am sure they will definitely. But you have to open up your mind and that please come and help, take courses, be consultant. The resident on the kind of resident on the camp. Many things by which at any given point, a good number of NID graduates who have a lot of experience, decades of experience, can be exploited. That is otherwise.
That's good advice. So, if Praveen is listening, we'll pass on the advice to him if he's not on this call. Let's talk about student life. Ragging, of course, is legally banned in all campuses, and rightfully so. But NID had its own style of social interaction. What are your memories? What did you think of this social interaction that students used to do with each other?
See, it's easier for me to say that that social interaction, when you talk conservation, was absolutely essential. It has helped most of the students. Actually, prelude to your first jury. You get a lot of, you get harassed, you get, then, one secret I will tell you, I have got people, you can quote unquote ragged, because there were some people who were very hesitant to even open their mouth. There were some couple of people from Kerala, there was good 3-4 people. I immediately remember the names from Calcutta and such a thing. So withdrawn, and they don't even talk about it. In the interview itself, the consultant will say this is very difficult for him to open up and such a thing. So I have most of the time, in most of the years, I have this again. I have another small secret. Always a set of 3 or 4 people who come and inform me what is happening, including the ragging and all sorts of things. That number, when dwindling over a period of time, it became 0 over a period of time. That is another thing. So I used to call 1 or 2 of them, saying that, look, this fellow doesn't even open his mouth. Please just give him some dose, and then don't go. Not to go beyond that prescribed decent things. It's not like there are cases someone was given a piece of toilet soap to eat, and I think minus the rigors and the rigorous dirty things, of which is about 10%. Otherwise, the 90% is absolutely
it's fun for everybody.
Absolutely should be permitted. But used to give me a lot of sleepless nights, because I can say it easily now, but that time if I told, I would have been kicked out of that place.
Another thing that we all enjoyed about NID, MGD was the parties. What did you think about the parties that the students threw? Did you ever attend any of them?
None. Because this is something, even if you didn't come, I want to come to that, because party is something. Youngsters will definitely conduct parties, and that's the time to conduct parties. Otherwise, when will you do it? If you don't do it at that age, when will you do it? Absolutely, it has to be done. Sitting over there over a period of 23 years, at any given time, the freshers party, the retain party. So in any year, there will be 5-6 parties multiplied by 23. I might have given permission for all of them. I have not attended even one of them, because I will go there, things, I will interfere. Then there will be more problems of this man is interfering. But as I can definitely create a point of friction point, unnecessarily getting into it. So better be practical. I never wanted to impose my values on any of the students or any. It's absolutely certainly not. So I have never attended any of them. I have remained there that night, many times, most of the night also, but I have not attended the party. But I have been most of the earlier years around 1 o'clock, 1:30, I will get a call at home. There is the door to that housing society. The moment you keep it open, the sound will go after 11, 12 o'clock. People will not tolerate. So any party that I will not sleep even at home because somebody is going to call me at 1 o'clock at 1:30 to say that this is not nonsense. And it so happened once someone called. I had just went and slept 1:30 or so and picked up the phone. He said, "This time I will take you to the court, not only to the police." So I didn't get any idea what he was talking about. I said, "Okay," I just put down the phone. And I realized, by God, this is from NID, the party is going on. So I just rang up immediately the security guard at the hostel again. I told him that, "Look, there is problem, please run and ask them to shut the door first and then tone down the music." It's invariably most of them. Later on it got reduced because I used to appoint 1 or 2 people saying that they please ensure that by this time you bring down the music level to these and these. So party, the social interaction, all those things were absolutely essential. But I had my own reservation about party, so I never attended one. But I facilitated. Be practical.
Many parties.
Youngsters, understand them rather than trying to impose your wisdom. So that's very important.
So another big feature of student life in Ahmedabad was dealing with prohibition in Gujarat. Unlike many other states in India, Gujarat is under total prohibition since 1962, I think. So the one thing we'd like to know about you, MGD, are you a teetotaler now?
Sorry?
Are you a teetotaler? Do you enjoy a drink every now and then in Kerala, or are you a teetotaler?
No.
You're a teetotaler?
No.
No. So, do you drink or you don't drink?
No, I don't.
Don't drink at all.
Yeah.
So I know lots of students getting into trouble for alcohol.
I think before I leave, I might have taken toddy once or twice.
Okay.
The coconut thing.
Yeah, correct.
Otherwise, never. I don't. But
so when students used to get caught with alcohol, what happened behind the scenes? Did you deal with the police and all that? I remember students used to get caught.
See, all these things are done just not at the beginnings. Even before I do something, I'll also check with 1 or 2 people, experienced people. Once I remember, I was discussing with Cheturaman, there is a lot of some drinking around. So he immediately gave me one point, very important. He said, "MGD, be practical. If you try to restrict over here a little bit, they can go to Vasana, which is only 3 kilometers away from NID. There's an adda there where you can drink. They might get into some brawl with some others. Then police also will be around. Would you like to get that kind of name into the newspaper, the police? Oh, how did?" So I immediately got the message. So I very well knew that who drinks. So of course it is a prohibitory. I went to the university hostel and met the chief warden. I tried to find out. So he said, "Mr. Nair, please, we are also struggling with the same thing. Every hostel has this problem." So even in Gujarat and Ahmedabad, where it is prohibition, it was very much over there. But rather than going after them, getting into problem, friction point, but they will go somewhere else and drink. And then once or twice, for the sake of raids, we have done it also. I know which room it will be available. It will be there and then who and all. But still, they have completely restrained myself from the practical. If someone, but we know how much, what is the limit, and someone crosses the limit, we will definitely. I'm not telling that we allow any drinking, certainly not. But we used to be extremely practical, very practical. I was very practical. Otherwise, there can be more problems, outside and outside.
So
Yeah.
what was the most enjoyable period for you at NID? You stayed for many, many years. So I have two questions. What made you stay for so many years at NID? And what was your most enjoyable period?
Oh, I'll tell you. At NID, it was taking care of the youngsters. Though a lot of responsibility, though a lot of strain, or at many times, there was not a single day which was boring or I enjoyed. And at EDM, I was on the other side of the, it's just there for the students. I used to approach the industry. Here I was chatting with the industry. At EDM, there was a much to enjoy, except even the proprietor, the owners. They were respectful to me and also something that's not done. Otherwise, enjoyment was every day. It was at an idea. Even during the 8 months when Kosher just absolutely harassed me and made my life miserable before I leave, I used to have wonderful relations and then enjoyment on the campus with students.
Okay, let's talk about the Kosher controversy. You posted a series of messages on Facebook, and that's got many different kinds of reactions. You spoke about your time under Kosher, and you said that you didn't enjoy working under Kosher. And you spoke about many things in your Facebook post. What has the reactions been to your posts on Kosher? Yeah, on Facebook. What has the reactions been? Give us a range of reactions.
Everyone appreciated. I'm very happy that people want to know the facts. I'm also very happy that I have certain certain degree of credibility, which people will definitely believe, which I have built over a period of time, and then that is still intact. It's very good, because I had doubt about it when I started the first one. See, I tried to restrain myself for a day or two. I thought some oldies will respond. Then nothing happened for 3 days. Then I decided, look, this is where a system and the people who operated, wonderful people who contributed to building that system, is being attacked ruthlessly by someone who really destroyed the system. Actually, Kosher did what Kosher did. Kosher's tenure, it is a little easy for money to come. He also, I definitely agree that he did contribute in terms of building the infrastructure, the computer, building the Gandhinagar campus. But then you are refurbishing the temple and destroying the deity. Refurbishing the temple and destroying the deity. So what the spirit inside and all the thing is destroyed. And then you say that I've got a campus, I've got computers, I've got library, which is air conditioned, so many things, but you destroy the spirit. I would say that it really destroyed the deity and then refurbish the temple. If it is the other way, I wouldn't mind, but it is this way it happened. So
I know a couple of people.
So it's very good that people reacted. A lot of comments came when people want to know. Had I not done it, at least a few thousands of people who are members of the group, and then the present set of students and then graduates who passed out after Kosher and during Kosher time definitely will believe this man is correct. He is the hero. He is the semi-god, and then all others were idiots. I even checked with Ashok Chatterjee. Look, did you see the post from Kosher? They immediately sent me a line back saying that doesn't deserve any attention, just keep quiet. That was his advice to me. I understand, because we have a wonderful relation. He loves me. It's a wonderful relation between me. So that was the. Then I thought I kept quiet for one more day. I thought someone will write and start. Nothing happened. Just so that is something that I thought. Look, I am going to dirty my hand. It will be there. I had nothing to lose. The way, if there's nothing personal about it. If it is personal, I would have done it in 2006 after reading. I never. And anyway, sometime I'll get into the way I tried to get out of his harassment and the cases that he tried to build on me. He wanted to sack me. He wanted to sack me even one day before the my retirement date. So of course, there was a governing council meeting on my last day of this. So my send-off was on the previous day. He kept it. So even if he sacked me the one day, I will be in trouble. It will go to case. It will take years. Even my retirement benefits will not come to me. He wanted to harass me. Somehow, it was because of my reputation, because one of the governing council members, he put me a shoppers notice. I replied in absolutely hit back. Then he put another one. And the other standing committee was there. I think one of the standing committee members, I have not checked who is that, who seems to have said that in the first place, you should not have issued him these notices. Two, this fellow seems to be very popular on the campus. So you may expect opening another front by the students. So drop the case. And he just dropped the case. So maybe my reputation and his fear that students may take up and come into the picture and try to do something for me, perhaps restrained him. And the governing council members advised, stop it, he dropped it. But I never wanted to involve the students, never in my life, because they should do their own path, they should do the studies, and I never want, it was my fight, I will fight it, so I decided never to involve anyone from outside, anyone from inside and student, they should be left themselves. But he was scared of that. Otherwise, it would have been very difficult for me. So when the reaction started coming and all these things, it gave me more courage and more, I realized that what I'm doing is right and I have the credibility. So I will continue with it, a few more posts, and then wind it up maybe another 3 or 4 more posts.
I think we look forward to those posts. Okay, let's talk about life after NID. So after you left NID, you joined Idiom Design.
Yeah.
What did you do at Idiom Design?
Idiom is the kind of job I went as a HR head. Okay, the kind of job I expected there, it didn't work that way. It was an entirely different kind of setup than some of the things I don't want to put into record.
All right, fair enough. You had the option not to answer any questions. All right, tell us a little bit about your family, MGD. Kids, grandkids, we don't know anything about your family.
Sorry?
Tell us a little bit about your family. We know your grandson is helping you with the computer.
Yes.
Tell us about your kids and your grandkids.
Bangalore, I stayed with my wife and stayed. And on the first floor, my elder daughter stayed. That is where I am sitting here and then talking from there. 2 grandsons. One is just into the BBA first year, and the other one is into the 10th year. He is my Aditi Malya school, and where.
And how many kids do you have, MGD? Only one daughter?
My son-in-law is Wasim Sheikh. He works in Srishti Institute of, he works there, and with Kavita will know him. I have got a second daughter who has got an 8-year-old daughter. So now I spend quite a bit of time with these 3 kids, and then, shouting and getting shouted and also something. The second grandson will always shout me for not knowing enough about the laptop and technologies.
All kids do that.
To help me otherwise. Yes. So
2 daughters. So 2 daughters and how many grandkids?
Both of them were working earlier. Now the elder one doesn't work. She's at home. The other one works as an executive in a bank, a private bank. My wife, of course, housewife, and then she has been my support all the time.
And tell us about the story of why you used to wear white then and why you wear colors now.
White, yes, very good. Very good you asked me that. I changed the color while I was in Ashok Chetty's office sometime 79, 80. Okay. First I changed it just into, because it wanted to khadi, the local thing. I had gone to Gandhi Ashram for a supper, the people over there making it, changing into the local, and that is how it, completely khadi. Then the color thing came to be white a little later. When I thought at that time white khadi is symbolized with some certain party and then their leaders and also them. I didn't want to go that way, but I thought white is wonderful. Why not I use it as a identity statement? Look, here is MGD, khadi white. So even when I used to stay in Paradise, then it's a huge college, big college. Some people goes in there, an idea, that white khadi wala. Oh, so people knew where I was going and that. But it is funny that it has helped me a lot. So many times, some students get admitted into hospital, VS hospital, or many occasions. When I go there, the security guard used to salute me, and then other people are standing outside. They are not getting entry into it because there is not visiting time for them. It's not visitor's time. The moment I walk in, he used to salute me, oh, saab ko jaane do. And I used to be surprised in the beginning. What is he doing? Then I realized, I think this is a good thing I take advantage of. So I had no problem in getting into anywhere, anytime in VS hospital. The security guards used to tell me that, please go. So I thought I am some leader or something like that. There was one. So it has helped me a lot. One parliament member was coming to there's a public accounts committee, which 2-3 people come every year to NID and then to the accounts, and then they don't look at anything, but they go enjoy the facilities and then go. One early morning, I was told to collect someone from the airport. The driver was in hurry, so near Nehru Bridge, he just took such a sharp, curve. There was a traffic cop standing there. In 2 or 3 inches, he would have hit him. So then he whistled, and I asked him, told me, Saab, aap jara utar ke jara baat karna. So I just opened the door, started walking back 1 minute. This fellow just saluted me, saying that, Saab. So I thought this fellow will shout at me instead of the driver. He's going to shout at me. He saluted me and said, Saab, aap उसको जरा बोलो थोड़ा धीरे चलाए, अभी तो 2 इंच आगे होता है तो मैं मर जाता. Wonderful thing. So I escaped from there also. It is because of the white. It has helped me a lot.
So we have 2 questions from the audience. You can choose not to answer them. One is, how old is MGD? What is your current age, MGD? 74. 74. Second, which city are you based in right now? Where are you joining us from? Which city are you in right now?
Bangalore.
You're in Bangalore. Okay, so that answers both those questions. MGD, do you watch any movies and listen to music? What kind of movies and music do you watch, listen to? What are your personal tastes?
Well, see, I'll tell you. Once in 2-3 months, my daughters take me for any of the current movies somewhere, and then I just go without any complaint. We go for the movie at 10 o'clock and then come back by 2 o'clock at night, have a comfortable sleep. Otherwise, I don't have any preference, any choice. While I was in Ahmedabad, from 65 to all those 10-15 years, every damn Hindi movie, the first Friday the movie comes, I'll be there for the last show. I used to invariably go and say a lot of movies. But now I don't have the stamina. I don't have any preference.
So any favorite actors, actresses from the Bollywood side? Who are your favorites?
Admire.
Actors and actresses. Who are your favorite actors and actresses?
Of course, it is Amitabh Bachchan.
And actress?
I don't really. Otherwise, it is Vidya Balan.
Vidya Balan. So, MGD, you were not a design teacher, but you've seen many, many different design teachers, design students, design courses. So here's a question for you. After all your experience with NID, if you were asked to teach a design course today, what course would you teach?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
at NID or Srishti or any of the top design colleges, if you were asked to teach a course, what would you teach?
What I heard, the design management, design practices, administration related to administration, this design management.
Okay. Is that a subject that you're passionate about, design management and practices?
One Ashok Chatterjee once I gave, it didn't happen. Before that, something happened. I had to go somewhere and it happened. So, yes, I'll be a miserable teacher anyway.
Okay. Sajid Ansar has a question for you. What is the story of your signature? You have a very specific kind of signature. Sajid has sent me the question. I don't know if Sajid is asking that.
No, I'm getting it from the chat.
Sheetal Sudhir.
Yeah.
Sheetal, yes. Tell us about your signature. It's a very nicely designed signature. How did you come up with that signature?
I took just tried many things many years back when it started, and I thought this is where this is where my final. There's nothing much.
Okay. All right. We have a popular question of whether you can speak Gujarati or not, and I'm sure you can speak. I've heard you speaking very fluent Gujarati.
I speak Gujarati reasonably fluently.
So, anybody in the audience who wants to ask MGD a question in Gujarati, please post the question. I'm happy to ask the question in Gujarati to MGD. Now,
Shaw.
MGD, Alan Shaw. Yes, Alan, please go ahead and ask the question in Gujarati. Alan, you're on mute. Alan, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Alan.
Yeah.
Think now in Gujarati. તમે અમદાવાદમાં શું ભાવે છે?
શું ભાવે છે?
ના મોટા ભાઈ તમે અમદાવાદમાં શું ભાવે છે?
Go ahead, MGD. Over to you.
Sorry, I think there was a problem.
No. Alan, question again.
Technology problem.
મોટા ભાઈ તમે અમદાવાદમાં શું ભાવે છે?
શું ભાવે છે? ખાવા માટે.
ખાવા માટે, જોવા માટે.
ગુજરાતી થાલી.
Okay.
I am fluent in talking, but the writing is not possible, and the reading is about 60-70%. That is how it's.
All right, it's 1 hour 15 minutes. I think it's time to end this conversation. MGD, we've taken up a lot of your time. I've asked you a lot of questions that I've come up with. I've asked you a lot of questions that the students have asked. Sajid, I'm going to hand it back over to you.
Yeah, and thank you very much.
Not yet over, MG. There's
I love you.
1 second. One is Amit Gulati just wanted to share a story, and then Hemant is going to give a vote of thanks. If I can find Amit Gulati, is he in the car still, or is he?
No, I'm here.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
So MGD.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I'm going to put you on spotlight. But the Zoom is feeling shy saying Gulu. Yeah.
So firstly, MGD, thank you so much for taking out the time. It was wonderful hearing you. And, like everybody has this warm feeling towards you. You were like a father figure on campus. And, you would float around in white and making sure that everything went smoothly for all of us. So we have very fond memories. Thank you for that. And one specific memory which I have, you see, I was very keen on automobiles, and in those days, the only place where you could do training to be an automobile designer was Telco, Tata Motors. And I wrote to them several times, and they didn't even bother to respond. And then I was almost in tears because, it was the last moment and somebody had to sort of ensure that I got that training because I hadn't applied anywhere else. So I remember I went to your office and you rang them up. I think NS Babu, you spoke to him personally, And within 24 hours, I got a formal letter from Tata Telco those days, not only accepting me as a trainee, but also ensuring that I got accepted as a postgraduate trainee, though I was only in 4th year in NID. So, the point I'm trying to make is that MGD was far ahead of his time. He made sure that NID students who were doing the 5-year program, 5.5-year program, were always treated at par with postgraduates and postgraduate trainees. And he made sure that we got that kind of recognition even as students. So even when I went to Tata Motors, it was a very small thing. The undergrad trainees would get 1,500 rupees and I would get 1,500 rupees and a book allowance. So it was a very small thing, but it just put you in a different category and made sure everybody treated you right. And I have only MGD to thank for that, because he fought for students, fought for their recognition at every step. And the way he's responding to Koshi's posts is emblematic of that strong love that he has for our campus and its values, that nobody should tread on those, nobody should go roughshod on those. And ultimately it helps all of us, because what our campus stands for today and in the past and in the future is all what we will be recognized for, all the graduates. So thank you so much. And all this obviously adds up to the things that we've done and we've become. And it was a really wonderful gesture. You didn't have to do it, but you went out of your way and made sure that you helped each one of us. Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to give MGD a standing ovation. I'm going to stand up. I want everybody to join me in giving MGD a standing ovation for this.
Good, MGD.
MGD, we love you.
MGD, thank you so much.
Spotlight on Suresh.
I'm honored. I'm honored.
Thank you, MGD. Thank you for the time. Thank you for taking out so much time and answering all our questions. Some people are accusing me of ragging you, MGD. I hope that's not true. That's my question. They're saying you're ragging MGD.
Suresh,
Social interaction,
guys, I'm going to mute everybody because I want Hemant to speak. I'm going to be Gunda.
Yeah.
Hemant, unmute yourself. MGD, can you also unmute yourself?
Yeah, dear MGD, we are honored to have you here. And I would like to say that you followed all the rules, but in the spirit and not by the word. And you were always there for us as a guardian, like even small things like an important mail has come for us. It will be not there in the letterbox, but it will be with you. So I can come inside and collect it from you. I still remember those things. And it was such amazing to make us all who we are now. It's not just the faculty, but you also played a great role in who we are today. And you cared about all the students, and we are thankful for you. And we are honored, and we are really proud of you that you're sharing your time with us today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm humbled.
We are humbled too.
Anjali, thank you. Today was a full house. We have a whole bunch of people who are waiting who can't come in. It's like first day, first show types. And we've got it going on Facebook live also. And Suresh, fantastic the way you ask the questions, holds barred. And MGD, thank you so much for being such a sport, speaking from the heart. And thank you for standing up and sharing all that, what you've been sharing on Facebook, not emotionally, but in a very, very logical sequence, which I think that's the connection. Everybody is feeling so good. The love for which you have for NID and the analogy which you said about the temple and the deity. I think it's a fantastic analogy. So thank you so much. The session is over, but we're going to just keep it open because there's so many people who are here who want to say hi to you. I'm going to keep spotlighting different people. You probably are going to see them after a long time. 1 second. I'm going to keep randomly moving. These are people who are not spotlighted. That's Balu Subramaniam. You guys can.
Hi, MGD. How are you?
So nice to meet you. I'm fine.
Good to see you too.
Here with you.
Thanks, Sajid.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bala.
There is the famous.
Hi, MGD.
Hi.
There is a famous singer who
Thank you.
almost billed to for his Grammys.
Hi, Shakti.
Thank you. Hi, MGD.
Hi.
Meeting you after Bangalore. It's so nice to see you and lovely to hear about your whole insights. It was lovely. We love you, MGD.
Hey, Sanjita.
Hi, MGD. Lots of love and pranam to you. And thank you so much for everything you've done for us.
There's the
Hi, Dinesh.
Hi,
Hi.
MGD.
Hi.
Always a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not purposely showing only the Malayalam.
Hello, MGD. so nice.
Hi, Bala.
Hey, Marathi also.
Hi, Rini. How are you?
Hi, MGD. So great to see you after so long.
Proper reunion. There's just one guy who's been to the Hindi film industry and became a Bollywood hero. I'm just going to put him for a second.
Hi,
MGD. Hi. Good to have you here. Fantastic.
Hi, MGD. Thank you so much for taking time out. So lovely to see you.
Hi. Oh, hi. How are you? After a long time.
MG, then there's a guy who played you for ragging time. He had to act like you. So there we have Consorde.
Hi, Ash. How are you?
Hi.
Hi.
And those who have not seen the Danda part, after a long time he's appeared.
Hi. Hi, guys. MGD, big namaskara to you. How you doing? Hello.
He got shy seeing your face. He can't speak.
Yeah, can I say something, Sajid? If you permit me, can I say something?
Madan, hold on. Danda part speech is really exciting.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, brother, giving me that opportunity. Yeah, I wanted to thank MGD for two major things. When I came as a student over there, he was my local guardian because I didn't find anybody. I was probably the first one who landed up to NID during that time, that particular year when I got the admission. And when I reached there, that hostel area, everything was closed. So I didn't know whom to speak to. Then when I went to the hostel area, I met Sirius Chandravijay Singh. And then he told me, did you speak to somebody called MGD Nair? I said, sorry, sir, I have only got a letter and I don't know who is that person. So he told me, his administrator, did you speak to him? I said, no, sir, sorry. Then he said, okay, fine, I'll show you a room for today. You accommodate yourself in that. And then tomorrow, probably when you go to the office building, meet him and then tell him that you are here. So that was one very, instant arrangement he did for me. And then I was made comfortable because I didn't have any local guardian. So he immediately offered himself to be my guardian. And throughout my stay at NID, even after I completed my course, I was there as an intern. That time also I had a very good, very fatherly relation with him. And I remember when I bought my two-wheeler, that time he stood as a guarantor for me because I didn't find anybody else again. So very thankfully and gratefully, I mean, he had given 2 of his checks to stand as a guarantor for my motorcycle. I still have that motorcycle with me.
Thanks, Dana, but I'm going to now switch to the next person, but thank you for sharing that. Madan.
Hi, MGD. Thanks a lot for always being there for us. And I remember the Student Activity Council days. SAC, is it still there? SAC?
There.
Yeah.
As a committee?
Yeah.
MGD handed over the accounts of SAC to me as a treasurer with just 19,000 rupee balance. And I didn't know what to do with it. Entire year's budget was only 19,000 rupees. So he said, you think something? You're a designer. So we went ahead and did so many events in that year that I handed over almost 1 lakh rupees back at the end of the year to him. That was a great experience being with MGD. He was always there for everything that happened.
From Japan, live from Japan.
Correct.
Hi. Hi. Hi, Alan.
Yes,
Hi, Pooja.
Hello, MGD.
Come in the train now.
Hi.
Hi, MGD. Thank you so much for a wonderful session.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nisha wanted to say hi to you. Again, I'm going back to Mallula.
Rajit, that connection is really good.
MGD, long time. I almost ran into you once at a in Bangalore. I was driving and I saw somebody who looked like you, and I was like, oh my God! And you just ran in front of me, crossed the road. I almost bumped into somebody. Quickly called up. And I think I almost bumped into MGD.
Literally. Beard.
Thank you, MGD. It was a very nice session.
Thank you.
Yes. My spotlight is acting funny.
Hi, Purnima. Hi.
Unmute.
Like a full reunion type on you.
How are you?
It's in outer space.
Hi. Hi, Vaibhav.
MGD, your favorite student, I'm going to spotlight.
Hi. White.
Great to see you after long.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Raj. Hi. Hi.
Hi, MGD.
Ayush, focus. Ayush, look up. Ayush.
Hi, MGD. It's great to see you out here, happy, healthy, and with that, there's so much that we've learned from you, and your being there was really a great source of inspiration and comfort while we were there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hi, Grishma.
Hi, MGD. Thank you for this time with us today. It was great.
Thank you. Hi.
Krishna, you're on spotlight.
You haven't aged one bit, MGD. You look the same. It's so nice. It feels like we're back in NID again.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel the same thing.
There's Abhijit sulking.
I can't hear you.
Luckily, you're on mute, Abhijit. Bansode.
You're on mute.
Mute, Bara.
Hi, MGD. Thank you so much for so many things. Yeah, nice to see you after so long.
Why are you wearing red?
Yeah, I'm just sort of anti-white story.
Himanshu is logging the night from the US.
Hi, MGD. Good to see you after a long time. Thanks for everything you've done for us.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, MGD.
Hi.
Great to see you after such a long time.
Yeah.
I felt like walking into your room, wearing the same accent.
Sorry, Mohor, you were saying something when I changed the track. Mohor, you were saying something.
No, I was just saying thank you, MGD. This was by far definitely the most fun Zoom call we've had in the last 3 months.
Thank you.
You're well.
It's because you didn't come for the monsoon fiesta.
भैया कुछ बोलो यार.
Yeah, every time I see MGD, I hide. So I was.
I think now you can confess about the floods cut time when you were helping cleaning the office.
So, yeah, MGD Gautam also says hi.
He's still hiding.
Trouble for all the years.
Hi from me and from Arundeep also, and everyone in the
MGD can tell us where is Arundeep?
Huh?
Where is Arundeep?
Arundeep is in Ahmedabad.
But where is he?
He's hiding. Hiding from
aquarium.
He's an NID in his final year.
We will have one session just for Arundeep's story.
Seriously, we should do that.
Yeah.
We should do that.
Hello, MGD.
Hello, yes.
Hope you can recognize me. I'm not wearing my turban today.
That's Gary.
I'm very well. So
Gary
nice to hear from you today, and we've learned so much from you in all these years. I've seen you as a student, as a colleague. So it was really great to hear you again today. Wish you all the best and a happy life.
How are you?
Oscar Award.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you very much. So good to see you after so many years.
Hi, Arpita.
Thank you so much for all the memories, and you don't even know how much you've helped us. Thank you again.
Hi.
Thank you
After a
again.
long time. After a long time, Satish.
Hi, MGD.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone. So nice to see you after all these years. Just a big thank
Yeah, Anjali, it was really wonderful to hear your voice and really inspirational.
Satish, how have you been?
Good. Who's this?
Sanchita.
Oh, hi. Hi, Sanju. How are you?
How are you?
Good. Long time.
MGD, hello. It's been
Yes, Anu, I can hear you.
Hi, I'm in Bombay.
Hello, MGD. How are
I
you?
thought the backdrop was appropriate.
It's nice
this
to
Zoom
hear you
call.
after so much time.
It's the
MGD, what is the secret? You've not aged.
there's too many people speaking. I think.
That's the end of the function is always like this. Shadi's happened, everybody's had food, and just
MGD, you have to sing a Malayali song. T1D. More T1D. Tumi power T1D.
Satish, so happy to see you.
Same here. The last we met was in Pesarek.
MGD, you are a legend and you continue to learn more Facebook posts now. Always have been and continue to be a legend for us.
You're on mute.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Session. Really, thank you for everything.
Wasim?
MGD, how did you feel just before we say bye? How was the session for you, MGD? You'll have to put yourself on unmute. If you can just share with us, you're on mute still. We can do dum charades. MGD, you have to put the, yeah. You're on mute, MGD. Yeah, perfect. Any goodbye message you want to say? How do you feel seeing everybody after so long?
It's really wonderful. I'm really honored that I was given this chance to meet all of you together. Otherwise, when is it going to happen in future? I don't know. So it is so wonderful, so wonderful. So I mean, absolutely humbled and honored. And then, you know, even 1 hour and 2 hours is certainly not enough for me to blurt out my heart. Sometime in future, if there's an opportunity, I will certainly do it somewhere else.
Thank you so much. So just before everybody goes, the coming Tuesday, we have Aditi and Nina. We have Aditi and Nina coming.
Wish you good health. Wish you good health, MGD.
Thank you so much, MGD.
Thank you. Thank you, Sajid.
Thank you, MGD.
Thank you, MGD. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, MGD. And
you don't get
bye. The very best.
Bye, Ajra.
Thanks for this. Hey, Hajra. My God, after so long.
Thank you, MGD. See you again sometime.
Thank you.
Thank you, MGD. See you sometime. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. So Tuesday,
Bye.
Yes, Sajid, we heard it.
Somebody hear me. Somebody said hi. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Has someone taken pictures?
Hemant has probably taken.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Suresh, for being an awesome host.
Thank you.
Thanks, Suresh.
Suresh.
Venki.
Hi, Sanju. How are you?
Hi, I'm
Thanks
good.
again, MGD. We'll meet again.
Cataract in the time of COVID. Had 2 cataracts in the time of COVID.
Take care. Bye. Bye. Bye, everyone.
See you guys. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Sajid.
Bye, MGD.
Chalo, chalo.
That's
Bye, everybody. And also
Chalo, chalo.
wait for the next one.
Arranging such a nice meeting.
Tables up.
Thank you so much.
Sajid.
Looking
No
forward
one
to have
wants
more
to
and more.
leave.
Okay.
I
Then the
know you
party
never
bye.
Wants to leave.
Nobody leaves the session.
He'll be here till the end, cleaning up.
Yes. I have to. That's my job.